Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us here today. If this is your first time here, I'm Dave. This is Olive. We're doing a little bit different of a video today. Can't believe we're doing another video like this, but today we just wanted to talk about a friend of ours and read a little something. So, as some of you have probably already aware, we lost another friend in the BookTube community. Scott Bryant, one half of the Bookish Bryant's wonderful BookTube channel. We just lost him. And so, if you don't know who Scott is, Scott, as I said, he has the BookTube channel, the Bookish Bryant's, that he does with Becky. And Becky, I just want to say one more time that I'm just so sorry. And so Scott was one of the nicest people that I have met, not just on BookTube, but period. This channel, I love BookTube, and he, with Becky, was the founder of a couple BookTube events, Horror Mayhem and New World's November. And I just met Scott about a year ago, or last year, and I met him through Gareth from Book Songs and Other Magic, through a live stream that Gareth was doing, and we immediately hit it off. He's just such a sweet, welcoming guy that we automatically had chemistry, and he just instantly became a friend. And even though we hadn't even known each other that long yet, he hopped on to do a live stream with me to celebrate Olive's birthday. And we ended up buddy reading a couple books together because we just started chatting and get along great. And the buddy read the Chrysalids along with Brandy and Bryant, and then Scott and I buddy read The Death of Grass, and we were actually about to start buddy rereading together Dragonlance, because that was something we had both enjoyed years ago. And so right before, in the spring, right before health issues started to get serious. And so, he had just immediately invited me to be a co-host for his Horror Mayhem and for the New World's November, because that's what he was like. He was just so welcoming, just one of those people that's like really facilitates his community, just like so welcoming and kind. And a few of us decided we were going to do some poetry readings today for Scott. And as mentioned before, I feel like I really got cheated because it was quickly developing such a nice friendship with Scott, and I just really would have liked to have had more time in that friendship. And so some people are doing some poetry readings today in Scott's honor, and so the poem that I wanted to read is this is one that I've read before, and I so this was a poem that a year ago when we lost Pax, I had recalled this poem because it particularly hit home, and I didn't remember which one it was at the time, and I didn't know the whole poem. And then when we celebrated Pax's life and at the 1 year anniversary of her death, I had found this poem and read it in full. And I wanted to find a different poem for Scott, so I was reading a bunch of poems before doing this video, and from different people, and I just kept coming back to this one, because there was no other poem that really just fit so perfectly for the type of poem that I wanted to read for Scott. And like I said, I felt like I shouldn't read the same one, but there was just nothing else fit quite right. And this poem, well, for a couple reasons. Number one is, I've always had a difficult time with poetry, and it's always been a little complicated for me for some reason. And this poet it's more sort of straightforward language about emotions. And so for me, they're just really powerful. And this particular poem that I wanted to read, for the same reason that I wanted to read it for PAX, was that it really just it's about the message that, not all relationships don't last forever, and even though some can be very short, they still are so very much worth having, because they can be very important and very impactful on your life, even if they're brief. And so, I hope Pax doesn't mind that I'm reading this again. I don't think that she would. So, this is the poem that I wanted to read for Scott. It's called, it's from the book Home, and the poet is Whitney Hansen. And the poems don't have titles, but it's in a section of the book called Flying. And I guess I'll just go ahead and read it. I know now that this is how it works. You don't get to keep everyone in your life forever. There are some people that are just meant to be a sunrise for you. A light to pull you out of the darkness. There are friends, lovers, relationships that are seasonal. And no matter how deep a conversation you had with that person at 2 a.m., no matter how much you shared your heart, even if you can still draw the lines of their smile, like the map of a too familiar road, in the back of your mind, there almost always comes a time to move on, a time to let go, and regardless of the letting go, I just wanted you to know you're always going to feel a little bit like home to me. No matter how temporary, it is still beautiful that I got to call so many hearts my home. So that was from Home by Whitney Hansen. Scott, I wish we had a longer time to be friends, but I very much enjoyed and cherished the friendship that we did have for the time that we had it. And I'll miss you, buddy.